So one of the reasons I think a lot of people struggle that they blend in is if like you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. So not actually like polarizing enough. So like I'm a big believer in kind of like magnetic marketing in terms of like who you are for and who you're not for. It's like some of our ads are like, if you're lazy, broke, and kind of you don't want to make money, like keep scrolling, like being very direct of like, who is this is for and who it's not, because you pushing people away will pull the other people in.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's like something that we've kind of, it's hard because when you create content, you like to say to yourself, I don't want the view, like I'm not going to pay attention to the views, I'm not going to pay attention to the traffic, I'm just going to solely try and speak to somebody who is my ideal client. And that's all well and good, but it's human nature to want to like continuously get more. So if you're putting out content that maybe doesn't get that much traction or doesn't get that much engagement, you start questioning yourself whether or not it's working or not. But what a lot of people don't understand is that even a small amount of people that are viewing your content, let's say for instance you're stuck between 1,000 to 3,000 views on your posts, that's still a hell of a lot of people that are potentially looking at your content, that are warming up to you as a person, that could potentially buy into your services.
Do you know what's the most interesting metric I look on Reels like that? Watch time.
Yes.
If you've got, it's only got 3,000 views. Okay, it was like 2 days of solid watch time, whatever it is. I'm like, well, that's a lot of exposure you're getting people to listen to you. And there's also this difference between width and depth, because if you've got 3,000 people who watch a video of you and they're very specific in terms of who you want to work with, and it's a very specific video that's angled in the right way for a specific reason, it can then have a very specific outcome for you if you're smart.
Oh, 100%. And the thing is, this is, again, it goes back to the mistake that a lot of people make, is they don't actually track the right things. So they're tracking views and they're tracking like engagement because that's what looks sexy on the outside, but they're not actually tracking the back end data, which is the most important thing in content. Like you track what works, you double down on it, whereas other people, they don't seem to do that. They seem to just, like I said again, like throw stuff at the wall and just expect it to work, which it just never will.
Do you think I was ever afraid to make content?
100%, without a shadow of a doubt. I remember like the stark difference between what you were like on camera now and what you were like when we first started filming with each other. Like I think the first time we ever filmed with each other was a behind the scenes of you competing in body power.
2018?
I think it was 2018. Prior to that, we'd obviously trained with each other before, and I think I'd taken images of you training and stuff like that, but the actual first filming session was that. And I remember just filming you, and obviously you were deep in prep at that time anyway, so you probably cognitively you weren't there. But to look back at that footage now, and maybe I'll put some footage on screen of like some of that old
if
stuff.
anyone wants to see the video, if you go on Charlie Johnson Fitness YouTube channel, we probably put 2018 body power, probably come up.
Yeah, and you can probably judge how you look. But the stark difference is it's massive, and that goes to show not only the willingness that you want to improve, but just the relentlessness that you've put in to, you know, create this personal brand that you sit here today with.
And what do you think is the key behind that personal brand that's allowed that to happen?
I think there's a lot of things that go in on the back end. I like to think that, you know, being that I've worked with you since 2018, helped you with the fitness content, and now helping you with the business side of the content, I like to think, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that I've played a pivotal part in personal brand and, you know, getting your content out there to be at a specific level. I don't think you could pinpoint one thing. I think anybody that knows you as a person knows that you have like this bit between your teeth and you just won't give up. And not only that, but the ability for you to take criticism when it's due, but also on the flip side of things, not take personal offense to people who throw shade on you. Because in the beginning stages, if you're creating content, you're always going to go through a stage where people who you know, friends, family, will look at you and they won't understand or know the person that they see on the screen, and that's uncomfortable for them, and they can't understand why you're trying to do what you're doing. So then, because they don't understand it, then they start to place judgment on it, which it is what it is. It's like anything. If you take that into account for someone, say for instance, who's trying to lose weight, the vast majority of people who lose weight, in the initial stages of them losing weight, their friends and their family are very, very supportive of what they're doing. But then when they start getting further and further along into their journey, it starts to become uncomfortable for the people who know them, because they now no longer know this person as Susan, who's overweight and has, like, drinks on the weekend or goes out partying. She's now this person who's completely different. So your friends and family don't know how to actually be around that person anymore, because it's a new person. So then they start throwing judgment, and they start saying stuff like, oh, you still doing that diet? Oh, are you still doing that thing? And it's probably the same. Like, oh, you still doing that content stuff? You're still trying to do that? You're still trying to be that fitness influencer? Like, in the beginning stages, you're going to get that stuff.
Now, if you enjoyed this clip and you're a coach, creator, or a business owner and you want help in terms of how to scale your business using ads, AI, content, marketing, a lot of things we talk about on the show, then hit the link at the top line of our description in the YouTube video. You can book on a call with us and walk through the whole process, audit your business, and show you where there's huge, huge opportunities for you to scale.